everybody. I hope you're doing well and welcome to the platform of CodeChef. Okay, so today we're gonna be solving the problem you should have gone for the head. The difficulty level for this problem is cakewalk and the prerequisites required are none. So this is your educator Ansh and I hope you like my video. Let's proceed to the problem statement. Let us try and understand the problem statement. So a string is said to be magical if at least one subsequence of the string forms the word coded. Now, the organizer wants to see if the participants are able or to solve the same problem or not. I.e., you have given a string S and you have to output yes if any subsequence of the string S forms the word coded. Otherwise, you have to print no. Right? So, what the problem statement is saying that I am given a string S and I have to find any if my string S contains any of the subsequence which contains this particular string which is coded. Now, firstly, what is a subsequence? So a subsequence is nothing but in any of the strings, say my string is some A, B, C, D, E, F, I can delete any of the characters and the resultant string is always some kind of subsequence. So here my A, B, D, F is a subsequence. Say I had deleted these three characters, then my A, B, F is also a subsequence. I had deleted these characters and my F is also a subsequence. So you can delete any particular positions or none, and basically your A, B, C, D, E, F is also a subsequence of this particular string. This is what is the definition of subsequence, that you may delete one or more characters or none at all and the resultant string form is always a subsequence of the original string, right? So this is what the question is saying. Now let us see that what the question wants. So basically the question wants is I'm given a string S and I have to check whether this particular string, that is my CODERED, is present in the particular string or not, right? So let me just see how we can approach this particular problem statement. What we can do is let's just code this string such as this one coded string and let us consider this particular sample string as our case. So here I write my sample string as say ABC UO D FEG, then it's RHE YD. Right? So this is what the string is saying. Now what we'll do is we'll approach this problem exactly. Firstly, we'll keep a pointer on this particular string and we'll keep a pointer on this string. Now what we'll do is we'll compare these two characters. Now they are not equal. So we'll increment the pointer from here in the original string to the next string. And again we'll check the characters whether they're equal or not. Then I'll again go through the next string. Now these characters are equal. So I'll increment both of my pointers by 1. So this pointer will go to this pointer and this pointer will increment it by 1. So here, why I'm incrementing this pointer? Because I found my C. So I'll try to select my C and place it in the first position. Then I again compare U with O, but it is not equal. Then I go to my next character and it is my O, and I found O. So I'll increment the pointer above also, and as well as I'll increment the pointer below. So I found D. Now D and O is all present. So even D is present here. So these characters are equal. So I'll increment the pointer above. I'll increment the pointer below. Then I'll compare E with F. It is not equal. Then I'll compare E with E. So it is equal. Again, you'll increment the pointer here. And you'll increment the pointer after E, which comes to G. Then you compare R with G. Now, are they equal? No, they are not equal. So I'll increment the pointer down only. Then I compare R with R. So it's equal. So I'll increment the pointer both ways. Right? Then you'll compare H with my D, but it is not equal. So I'll increment the down pointer. Then you compare your E with your D, but they are not equal. So I'll increment the down pointer only. If you compare Y with D, it is not equal. And finally, when I compare D with D, it turns out to be equal and hence you are able to generate a string. So C O D E R E D. Right? This is the coded string. And this is how we are able to generate that particular string. And hence this particular string contains the subsequence of coded. And this is why the output for this particular string is yes. Similarly, the output for this particular string will be no because consider C O D E R, but after R there's not E. Like after R there's E, but after this E there's not D. So basically, in this particular string, coded is not possible. So we print no. So the idea for this approach is simple. You keep two pointers, one on the initial string and one on your coded. And what you do is basically you keep on searching your coded characters in your initial string. If you are able to search all your characters, then simply you can print yes. Otherwise, if you're not able to search all the characters, then you'll print no. And this becomes the approach for solving this particular problem. Now we'll understand this approach clearly when we proceed to the coding section. So let us move on to the coding section. Okay, now let us try and understand the code for the following problem. So here we include all my necessary header files. Then in my main function, I initialize t as the number of test cases, and I input my test cases according to the input format. Now for each of my test case, I initialize my integer n, and I input my n according to the input format. And then I initialize my string s and input our s according to the input format. Then as we discussed in the approach section, we'll keep one of our string as coded and one of our string as an initial string. I initialize my count as 0, and now what I do is my count is basically the second pointer and my I will be one of the first pointers. So as we discussed in the approach section, we'll traverse in the original string. If you are able to get the counter for that particular string, I'll increment my second counter by 1, and my I is getting incremented in this particular loop only, right? So we are trying to find all the characters of our coded in our original string as I discussed in the approach section. So finally, if we were able to find all the characters, that means my counter was able to reach the end of the length, then I'll simply print yes, otherwise I'll print no. And this becomes the approach to solve this particular problem, right? Now let us run our code on the sample test cases to see whether everything is working correctly or not. So as you can see, we got the exact answer according to the output format. Now let us submit our code on the actual test cases to see whether everything is working correctly or not. Okay, so as you can see, we got the correct answer for the following problem, and yes, this becomes a valid approach to solve this particular problem, right? Now let us discuss what people can make mistakes in this particular problem. So here, the main observation was that nothing, but you can traverse in your original string, search for the occurrences of coded in proper order, and if it is occurring, then you'll print yes, otherwise it's no. So I think the question is quite straightforward, and the code is also fairly simple. So if the observation and the logic is clear, I don't think anywhere else in the implementation part there are high chances of making mistakes by the other individuals, right? This is the learning you get from watching my video. I hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.